Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Gateway Podcast, coming to you from Clarksville, Tennessee, also known as the Gateway to the New South. We are proudly progressive members of the Montgomery County Democratic Party. We're here to bring hope to our community and connect progressive folk here in Montgomery County with the larger Democratic movement. My name is Rebecca Jensen. I'm the communications chair for the Montgomery County Democratic Party. I'm here with some of our younger party members. I've got LeLann Evans and Kadeem Brown-Evans. To talk about the future of the Democratic Party, not just here in Montgomery County, but in general. Welcome to the podcast. On my right here is Kadeem Brown-Evans, who is the chair of our Black Caucus, as well as being involved with communications and grassroots, right?
I'm pretty much everywhere within the Democratic Party. You'll find me in any room. So
He's here and he has great ideas. And you got that about him. And then I just met for the first time today, LeLann Evans, who you know each other from before, but are not related. Okay. And you are actually new to Clarksville, or you've been here before and came back again. Is that right?
So I'm originally from Nashville. I graduated from Austin P in 2013. I moved away. Last year, I was working with a nonprofit in the state of Michigan. And once that finished, I moved here. So I am brand new to the newer Clarksville.
Well, welcome back to Clarksville. We're glad to have you. And you two both know each other through working for a nonprofit in Clarksville. Is that right?
Yes.
We won't say which one, but it's a good one that we like to work with. So that's great. So the reason that I wanted to have the two of you here today, besides being just nice to have friends on the chat, is that as vice chair of the Democratic Party in Montgomery County, I feel like it's important to have more young people involved with what we're doing. I feel that there is, in the next sort of 10 to 20 years, going to be a generational shift with the people who are currently very involved in politics tends to skew older, let's say. And they might not be available to be so active in the next 10 to 20 years. So we need to reach out to more younger people. So my first question is, and I'll ask Kadeem first, is what do you think that we need to do as Democrats here in Montgomery County to reach more young people?
To reach more young people, I think it's important to realize that we need to rebrand, right? And in a way of that's mutually understood within this community. Clarksville is a transition city. So it's important to acknowledge the fact that there are soldiers who've come in and out. And then there are college students who come in and out. But like LeLann, right? They always come back.
Hopefully they come back.
Hopefully they come back. But
it depends what kind of impression they get left with. But
yeah, I mean, just the community, it rotates up.
Yeah.
And that's something that isn't common in other cities, especially in Tennessee.
No, for Tennessee, it's not.
Yeah.
We're not the same. I mean, it has a different special flavor, Clarksville. So what do we do to keep young people engaged so that when they come back to us?
To be more, how do I say, to build a relationship right, with the community. And we see that not everyone in this city is a Democrat, or excuse me, a Republican. And just from the events that we attend, all those people, they just need a hub to know, that we all understand each other's issues mutually. So branding that in a way that's attractive and to bring people back who do leave and realize, the Democratic Party here, they took care of us. They made sure my kids had a backpack for school.
Yeah.
I think doing that is the best way to approach young people.
So like relationship building and
rebranding a relationship.
And you had something that we started doing called the seat at the table.
Yes.
Want to tell us about that a little bit?
So a seat at the table is essentially a portable townhouse, or excuse me, town hall.
Temple, yeah.
Yeah. And the way it's structured is to have complex conversations about the current political climate. within the community and beyond. So our approach is to go to hair salons, nail salons. Of course, me running the Black Caucus, my priority, or my priority is bringing the Democratic Party, or representing the Democratic Party to the people, and not the people to the Democratic Party.
Right. So we're going out into public spaces.
And it's important to, during these a seat at the tables, of course, mutual respect. It doesn't matter what your political standing is, but just an open, forum for everyone to have a soapbox to stand on, and that's the intent of a seat at the table.
Okay, that's great. And LeLann, what do you think about that? How can we reach more people? Like with your experience in Michigan, how do you think we can bring that to Clarksville?
Yes, I think Kadeem hit it head on when he said relationship building. We have to be able to reach the people where they are. We have to be able to accept how they are going to be when we reach them. And so understanding that the agendas that we have may be out of touch with the people that we are saying we're representing. And so going into these communities with open ears and open minds and open hearts to accept our true base for who they are, and recreating, as he also said, rebranding the Democratic Party so that we are truly inclusive of how everyone really feels and the issues that we actually want represented by the Democratic Party. So relationship building, I think there's also a huge part that we overlook is the education piece for younger students. Going into middle school, going into high school, and creating legislation that says we are going to teach students how to run the government. Making sure that we have civic education as a priority across the state, so that way we have educated civilians who are going to be active in our political system.
So that would come through legislation, right?
I think that that's one way to accomplish it. There's always more than one way to skin a cat. And so it would be the easiest way if we were able to say, hey, we're going to teach political education from K through 12. And then when you graduate at 18, you already fully understand how the government works. I do think that nonprofits getting involved, after school programs getting involved, parents getting involved, making sure they take their kids with them to go vote and explain what they're doing. So there's many different ways I think that it can be accomplished, but yes, legislation will make it so much easier.
Well, I would say it sounds easy, but for Democrats to get legislation passed in Tennessee right now is kind of hard.
Oh, yes.
Because of the way that our legislature is set up.
Absolutely.
And we have a minority in the legislature, and there is an effort by the majority to keep them down and quiet. So
I think that plays a part in why it's not taught statewide.
I think so. I mean, there is. I do have a child in high school right now, and there is civics, but it's not until 10th grade. So, or maybe even later than that. They do government and civics, but it's I think it's like one semester in high school, so it's not a lot. And I don't really know if they teach them anything super useful, like how to vote, how to get
math in one semester,
how to get registered to vote. What the different political parties and the ideology are. And it's not really taught.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the next question, something that we chatted a little bit about is with the election that just happened in 2024. I would say the perception that people my age had was that Gen Z was going to save us all, save the world, vote for Kamala, and then we would all live happily ever after. We would never hear from Donald Trump again. That is not what happened. And the kind of prevailing opinion from what I'm hearing is that young men did not really did not really come into the Democrat fold in 2024. So how do you think that we can get younger men involved in politics, Kadeem?
I mean, when it comes to getting younger men involved in politics, I think there are I'm gonna say it like this: the Republican Party, their niche, in a way, is young men or men, right? That's their thing.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to us, we've taken up so much time just trying to gather anyone who isn't
Isn't that?
isn't that
angry man?
yeah,
Yeah.
that we forgot our niche, right? Which is the fact that we gathered you all for a reason, you
Yeah.
know. So I mean, with that said, there's we've learned in this past election that there's Black women who don't get acknowledged in politics, right? We've learned that women aren't winning in politics as much as they should be.
Yeah.
Right. And we've learned so much. And I think that understanding where we lack, we need to build up. Right. So, we know that we want a change in the community, and we want a change in the democratic process as a whole. Then we need to push for or uplift the one community that was able to get us to change as much as we needed at the time, which is who? A Black man. It was Barack Obama, right? So I think now that we're struggling so hard, that's when we need to start paying attention to Black men and start understanding that Black men, you know, this is where y'all need to start building yourselves up at. This is where we need to build ourselves up at as a Democratic Party, and transitioning. Once they win, once we get them on the pedestal, then it's time to, start our game plan, start building for the Hispanic community, and that's how we need to start thinking about the 20 years that we're looking at.
Yeah. So, Leland, do you think part of it is that younger men don't see themselves in the Democratic Party? They don't feel represented here?
Absolutely. I think that, well, from experience, I know personally that when I was younger, I looked at politics and felt that in order to be taken serious, I had to have a suit and tie on, and that I had to have my hair cut, and that I had to go into politics as what politics looks like.
Yeah.
And so as I've gotten older and realized that this is not the space I want to be in if I can't be myself,
Yeah.
that message resonates with a lot of young Black men, that they don't feel welcomed in the political space because of the stigma that you have to look a certain way to be accepted. And so a part of my life journey is still being present and taking up space in political spaces to represent what actual younger Black men that I care about, that look up to me and my community, and they're able to see somebody who truly looks like them, not someone who represents them just because they have the same color skin, but somebody who has lived some of the same life experiences. Some of them who have tattoos, that have piercings, that have locks and braids, things that are part of the Black culture and not just Black skin. I think that is how we have to acknowledge the Democratic Party has missed. I think that a lot of Democrats feel that, oh, there's Black people here, so therefore we represent or we accept in the Black people. And that's not always the case, because there are Black people who we are still not even able to get a message to, because we still turn our face to them in the sense of politics, because, oh, they won't make our party look good, instead of truly wanting to represent their issues.
Do you think it feels inauthentic to have Black people represented that way?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we do have Black people in leadership, I think locally and nationally as well. But are you saying that younger Black people would feel better represented if they saw themselves in that leadership?
In the sense that politics represents everyone. We all are a part of this government
Ideally,
system.
it should, yes.
Yes. Yeah, ideally. And I think that again, the idea that you have to be in a suit and tie in order to have your voice heard when it comes to the political representation, instead of me showing up however I am. When you have children who may never have owned a suit before.
I was gonna say,
everyone
has that. Yeah.
You have parents who can't afford to buy suits for their children to be in these type of political spaces and feel comfortable speaking their true mind. We have to be able to open our hearts and ears and mind to true representation, looking like when this person woke up this morning, how did they look? How did they feel? What was the issues that they went through? And before they came to our city council meeting or our state meeting to speak today, what was that message that they are bringing, so that way they don't have to have a suit and tie for us to hear it. They don't have to have a nice haircut for us to be able to hear them. But we are hearing what their true struggles are throughout that whole day and represented in a space that truly welcomes what they're saying.
Yeah, that's good. Do you see this one time?
Yeah, I actually I have a question. What do you think in Kamala's campaign was the one reason
that
she didn't win?
That she didn't win?
Yeah. I mean, if I know you asked if things seem inauthentic, right? But we can't be the only demographic that thinks this, like things can be fixed within or pushed. Things could have been done better in her campaign that would have helped.
In the campaign, my personal opinion is that it wasn't a very long campaign. I actually don't think that's a bad thing. I think in America, elections go on for far too long.
Yeah.
I'm obviously, in case you didn't know, I'm European, so elections there, I think maybe 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not like 2 years like it is here.
Yeah.
So what do I think they could have done better? Well, I think it's an interesting question. They raised a lot of money, but I don't know that it was spent effectively. I think they spent it on ads that maybe is not the way to reach people anymore. They were using maybe an outdated form of trying to contact people. I think what they could have done better if they'd had a bit longer would be more of a grassroots effort.
Yeah.
As in getting people out in the community and in all the communities. I mean, something that we feel always, or since I've been involved in Montgomery County, is we don't get a lot of attention from the National Democratic Party. And something that the campaigns that always do is they focus on places they know they can win, and they kind of ignore everywhere else.
Yeah.
So, we didn't, here in Tennessee, we didn't get the Kamala rally.
Yeah.
Which I was very sad about. But definitely gone. So maybe that was it. Maybe they didn't pay enough attention to enough places, and they put their focus on a few places that they thought they could win.
Yeah.
Also, there's conspiracy theories that I won't go into.
Yeah.
I would say they focused more on influence than they did inspiration. And that's another area that the Democratic Party has to stop believing that influencers are going to be able to bring in new people to vote. People will watch Cardi B perform at a Kamala Harris rally and not listen to anything that she has. And the thing is, the only people who are going to the convention are the people who are already showing up to vote and already engaged.
Yeah.
And so when we are thinking that we're hitting the mark, we're really completely missing it, because we're getting engaged with the Black people who are already engaged.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't an outreach.
Yeah, it wasn't really
more
an
of
outreach.
a uplifting vibe for people who are already.
And so it's like, we have this in the bag, but we're not actually inspiring and getting new people to come out and vote. We're just rallying the ones that we already have.
The existing people, I think, probably did need building up, but because there was a sense of maybe despair after Biden wasn't doing well in the debates kind of thing. But you're right. I don't think there was a lot of hope and joy, but it wasn't widespread. And we didn't maybe get that out enough in the community.
I mean, I think also a big part that people just forgot was the assassination attempt on Trump. Where, I mean, any political science major, right, already kind of understood after this assassination attempt, Trump was probably going to be winning, or he's probably going to be getting.
He did get sympathy.
That's just like understanding, because political science is pretty much learning the masses and mass patterns, right? Would you say that?
Right.
In democracy? So understanding that after like something like assassination attempt, people pay more attention to you.
Yeah.
And they, and then there's a following that developed. So I think with her jumping into the race around that time, it was already an uphill battle for her.
Yeah.
So that played a role. And the Republican Party is just different.
It is different. So kind of leading into our next question from there. As a Democratic Party, locally and nationally, what are we doing right? What is something that we do really well and that we should keep doing?
Ooh, that's a big question.
I would start.
Hopefully we can think of some things.
I would say the fact that we still represent humanity. The fact that Democrats still, while it is an uphill battle, understand that we can't just roll over and die. We have to continue to fight. I do think that we do a great job at rallying the troops when it's time to rally the troops. The only issue is we don't have enough troops. And so we have to hit the fact that we need to gain more people. And by gaining more people doesn't mean opening our agenda to have more and more priorities that we're like, oh, we're going to be on the face of this and the face of this and the face of this. And now we're stretching ourselves thin.
Yeah.
But honestly saying, here's what our agenda is. This is what we're going to set out to do and actually accomplish those things. So that way, when we are doing grassroots campaigns, we can say, here's our victories. We may not have won the whole war, but here's the victories that we made, and here's the progress that we're making. And instead of trying to eat the whole elephant at once, slowly start to chew away at it. And over years, it's going to become a more digestible place for us to be able to actually get a victory.
Yeah. I mean, we're in a tough moment right now because the messaging on the Republican side is so strong and compelling for their base. But I think you're right. I think we have core values as Democrats that is not going to change, and that is that we want to help people.
Yes.
We want them to have health care. We want them to have affordable housing. We want them to be able to afford to enjoy life, I think, but did you have some things that you think the Democrats are doing well?
Yeah, I mean, retaining their peace, right? And I say that to say, I watched the interview a little bit ago. I can't remember the people in it, but I watched the interview, and like politics is like a pendulum. I think that's what you call it, pendulum.
Yeah, pendulum. It swings back and forth. Yeah.
And it swings back and forth. And everyone right now is already pushing. I'm speaking on the national level. Everyone right now is already pushing. For people like AOC to run or Gavin Newsom. And one thing that we're doing well is retaining our peace, because with everything going on in politics, somebody said that Trump is quite literally building the Democratic presidency. So like all we need to do is maintain our peace and maintain our decorum with this process, because we see what happens when we don't. So
let him speak, and he does it for us.
He does it for us. So I mean, I think that what we're doing well is just sitting back and letting him speak.
I think having policies does help.
Oh yeah.
So in following up on that, policies. Do we need to improve our policies, or do we need to improve our messaging around our policies? Because so I don't know, as younger people, you probably don't watch like the news as much as older people do. So do you think that when Democrats do something successful, is it known in the community? So, like, for example, did people know that, Biden had the Infrastructure Act that was going to bring jobs and, improve roads and things like that?
I think,
How could we do that better?
I mean, if we were to take a note out of the Republican book, right? I think what they tend to do is they take like one small portion of whatever bill they want and then just like push that out there.
Never let you forget.
And they never let you forget it, right? And I think that what we can do is essentially, I don't know if that's okay or anything, but pretty much just actually like put our name out there as, oh, we did this. A lot of times, everything that Biden did in office, people aren't even going to acknowledge it.
People don't know.
Exactly.
I mean, even I don't know some of it, and I'm like very much into politics. So, and sometimes I'll find out about something that happened, and it's like, really, we did that.
Yeah,
That's great. I mean, and if you think about it, so like probably before your time a little bit, but the Affordable Care Act that we got through when Obama was president, people have healthcare now because of that. Now, those people might not realize that what they have is because of Obama, and they shortly are going to come to realize because it might get taken away.
Yeah.
But what the Republicans are successful in doing is branding it in such a way that it seems like a bad thing. So, it's Obamacare, and bad thing. But people love TennCare. And why? It's part of TennCare is Obamacare, or, Obamacare. Oh, sorry, TennCare is better because of the legislation of Obamacare. So is that something that you feel like we could improve?
For sure. In the way that we don't look at it as we did it, it's done, but something that's a building step to what a larger agenda is. Because again, what they have shown us is that they will take Obamacare, smear it, get a Republican in presidency, and then take the parts that actually was great and beneficial, rewrap it, and present it as something that they're doing of their own party, and therefore they're going to have this great victory with it. And so we have to celebrate it in a sense that we were able to accomplish this, but continue to have branches that go out further to protect these type of victories that we have, so that way we don't have to worry about, oh, well, we got a new presidency or a new administration, and so now everything that we've worked for to gain, we're now about to lose. And then now, instead of being able to focus on new agendas and new policies, next time we got to go back to square one and start all over again with trying to get things accomplished, which makes it look like we haven't done anything.
Did nothing. Yeah. So that's a great point, is that when we do something good, we need to make sure that it is signed into law so that it is lasting and not just can be something that can be overturned the next time we have an election. It's good to think about. Okay, moving along again. So where do you see the Democratic Party going in the next 5 to 10 years? What do you think is going to happen with it?
In Montgomery County?
Both, I guess. I mean, I'm going to be chair of the party in 5 years.
Hopefully one day. But I mean, with locally, I think there's things that I hope will happen, and of course, things that I that I hope not. But if we don't start mobilizing and building, a foundation with the young people, then I do fear for the Democratic Party and for the county, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important. But I'll say I do see a big influx in young people, especially when we address our strategy in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
100% there's going to be an influx of young people. You know, now overall, when it comes to the national scale, I think to see what to expect in the long term is to acknowledge the whole story of America, since all these political shit in the past 20 years, essentially. So, I mean, from the perspective of somebody who, grew up in a generation or was born in a generation with the first Black president, right? We have to understand that this changed the perspective of a whole generation of people. And when we watch now that that generation is starting to hit adulthood, we're seeing the shifts. So watching, Barack Obama rise to power, and then all of a sudden a shift instant to the exact opposite end. Right. Which is, Donald Trump. And, I think that put a damper in the political story.
Did, but there's a saying that like progress comes in waves. So it'll go forward and then it has to go backwards a little bit. But it should, generally it keeps going forward. Or it could be that like the pendulum.
I mean, the pendulum. That's what I was thinking, was the pendulum. And then eventually, we watched it swing back to the Democratic Party. But this time, the Republican Party is swinging harder.
They really are, and we have to make sure that it does swing back.
And we have to make sure. But I do see that with young Democrats, people, young people going in office. What's her name? The 25-year-old running for Congresswoman.
I'm not sure, but I will look.
A 25-year-old right now is running for Congress, and she is starting to get a lot of attention. Just graduated college, right? And doing this, that, and the other. But the issue is that the fact that there's a 25-year-old who feels the need to run for office is a big red flag. Right?
Because usually people wait and get a bit more experience.
Exactly. So I think that I really do see a big influx in the future of politics of the Democratic Party. Moving forward, at least in the next 10 to 20 years.
I hope so. My personal opinion is that we do need to have some of the people in the older generations step back and be more like an advisory role, and then get the younger people in to have the energy. I think, there are certain people in the Democratic Party who are doing that, but some of them are definitely not. What are your thoughts on this? What are we doing right, and what can we do better as Democrats, locally and nationally?
In the next 5 years, that
was the question. What is the future of the Democratic Party? I already asked that one.
In the next 5 to 10 years here locally, what I see happening is Clarksville as a city growing to what Nashville, it's very similar to how Nashville has grown. And the Democratic Party having the opportunity to create a blue wall here in the state of Tennessee, where Clarksville, Montgomery County, Davidson County, Shelby County can start creating waves of a blue wall, essentially, to start spreading out and flipping the state blue again. I think that with having West Tennessee being very rural, and we've seen that the Republicans are leaving them out when it comes to healthcare and hospitals closing. A lot of these issues are going to push greater opportunities for Democrats to swoop in as these smaller cities become larger and people really start to feel that burden of not having hospitals. Even here, Clarksville is looking to now have a hospital.
Yes. Oh my goodness, imagine we get a choice. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, and I think that is because the city is growing at the rate that it is, that more and more people are realizing we actually need more hospitals.
We need services, yes, and we need to be investing in that. That is an investment in the future.
Absolutely.
And that is not something that our local Republicans seem to want to do. For example, we've talked about this before on the podcast with infrastructure like interstates and public transportation. That's not something that Republicans traditionally, especially in Tennessee, want to spend money on, but the Democratic representatives usually push for that. So like in Nashville, they do have, much better public transport than what we have. And, there's been talk of having commuter rail between Clarksville and Nashville. I think that would be amazing if we could get that. But it's not something that Republicans would push for. But if we got more Democrats elected, I think that's something that we could definitely get. And it would definitely be useful because it would take the pressure off of the one interstate that we have. Okay, so moving on, we're going to do a segment that we have not come up with a name for yet. But I like to call it What's My Boggle? Other people have called it things like Here's What's Pissing Me Off Today, or This Is My Issue. But generally speaking, Leland, what is something that is on your mind that you would like to tell the world about that really grind your gears?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that comes to my mind right now is Free Palestine and the genocide that's going on in Gaza. America not making a clear stance to save innocent children from being killed, to save families from being shot at when trying to receive aid, to support a political person who is continuing to push for the murder of innocent lives is just something that is mind-boggling to know that as an individual, there's not much that I can do besides continue to raise awareness, continue to get into spaces like this and to spread the message that we as Americans may not seem like we are a part of what's going on, but we play a major part when the companies we're buying from, the government that we pay our tax dollars into is continuing to help support the country who is doing the onslaught. So just trying to find a way that my fingerprints on this planet will be one that represented humanity, one that represents saving people's lives. And when people look back in history and they look at what I did to either raise awareness or to bring more attention to the cause, knowing that I did what I felt like was right and what was best, and that I did the best I could.
You did the best you could. And do you feel disappointed by how the Democratic Party handled the situation?
I do. I think that during the presidential election, the Democratic Party had an opportunity to step up and make a stance right then and save lives. At the end of the day, that's what it all comes back down to. Knowing that there are babies who are being starved, that are being collateral damage, seeing things like that and knowing that the Democratic Party had an opportunity to step up and say, hey, this has gone too far, or we see this is getting out of hand, or hey, we need to start putting parameters around what we will stand for and what we won't stand for, to know that they kind of just tried to sweep it under the rug. And now, as it has progressively gotten worse, to see that they still haven't come up with a specific message where they're going to all out across the nation stand up and say, this is not what we as America, we as the Democratic Party of all the Americans across the United States are here to say, we won't stand up for this. We won't participate in this, and we will not support companies, private sector, that actively participate in this.
So do you feel like it affected the way that you thought about the Democratic candidates because of what was happening in Gaza?
Absolutely. And even in the program that I worked with in Michigan, we saw that one of the number one issue for college students across the state of Michigan was the Palestine stance, and that Dearborn, which is the number one place in the United States for Arabic families, they voted in favor of Donald Trump. And I think that it is a clear sign that it is because the Democratic Party would not step up and stand with them in this situation.
Yeah. So it wasn't that they thought that he would do a better job. It was just that there was no
a clear message.
Decision.
Yeah, I don't think that they were voting for him because they felt like he would do a better job or that they believed in him, but to send a clear message that you need us to win.
Yeah.
And if you aren't going to stand with us, that you're going to have to figure out a larger game plan that does not include us.
That's very interesting. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Did you think of something?
Yeah, number one, I thought of a good name for this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, soapbox moment.
Soapbox moment. Okay, that's a good one.
Now, I mean, what I wanted to talk about more so was the it's I'm starting to I think it's important to acknowledge the rapid decrease of the American standard when it comes to democracy. Like the American democracy. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. And well, I've had conversations on Facebook with people where they're Republicans or Republican voters, I wouldn't say they're Republicans, who say that America isn't actually a democracy. And that I know. And I'm like, oh my God, what? So do you want, is that what you mean?
I mean, yeah, essentially. I think that
that we're heading towards a dictatorship?
The saying that we keep saying that we're heading towards, I really do think that we're already past that point.
Yeah, it's a tipping. Tipping point, and we've gone past it.
It was a tipping point. To live. This is the democracy, the understanding of America. Our forefathers have expected these things to happen, and they've built, they built the Constitution. Specifically to avoid this type of situation.
And it's been degraded.
Wait, we all forgot that he's only been president for 8 months. And this is not the same America we had last year.
In January.
And it's it's so insane to realize that if we would have elected this woman, we literally would have had a different America.
Oh, yeah.
Different tomorrow.
I think if you could do, should we talk about this?
I mean, what, you want?
No, that's good. Do you want to?
We're filming.
Are we on? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I did not realize. Okay.
But we would have had a completely different America. And that's extremely disappointing to realize, because in these 8 months, we burnt generations of bridges between other countries. There are people who, the Hispanic community, right?
Yeah.
They're going to go back to wherever or what have you, and they're going to raise their grandchildren to hate America. They're going to raise families to genuinely resent, because this is a standard that was set, this is a standard that was pushed out, right?
It has a generational effect.
Effect. And we don't realize that, but we have the judicial branch, right? They're already structured to change America for the long term. And that's what they've been doing. From the start, from when they declared, presidential immunity last summer.
Yeah, that was very
disappointing. And we should have expected exactly what's happened, right?
Yeah. But if Kamala had won, I think you're right. I think we'd be in a very different situation. So there's a movie that you might not have seen because it's from the 90s, but it's called Sliding Doors. Gwyneth Paltrow's in it. So basically she gets on a train and she makes a decision. Either she gets off the train or she stays on the train, and it changes her life. And I think we all knew it last year, that we were at a point of no return, or we were at a very important decision-making process, and we made the wrong choice. Well, when I say we, I didn't. For Kamala. But America as a country made the choice to, for whatever reason, turn away from the democracy, basically, because people knew who Donald Trump is.
Yeah.
And they still voted for him.
I mean, I think with that, the difference between the two significant presidents, in at least that I pay attention to, is of course is Barack Obama and Donald Trump, and I think that's for most of us. And I think the significance of that is Barack Obama branded hope.
Yes.
And I think Trump branded fear.
Yes.
And that as a whole affected generations, history books.
Yeah.
Just because, that's just, I think that is what just grinds my gears, because people to pretend that these things aren't happening. And that's the fearful part.
Yeah.
And, like, we all see the prices. We all know what money is in our pocket and what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's like a sense of mutual, I guess, avoidance to like acknowledge the fact that it's because of the decisions being made beyond our pay grade.
But it's not just that things that are expensive. It's that our institutions are being destroyed. That is potentially worse in long term. Although it is bad that things are expensive.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been really interesting talking to you guys. I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah, that's good.
And just to kind of wrap things up, as we usually would do, if you are interested in joining the Black Caucus, how would we get involved in that? You can point to our email is
right here. And contact information for the Democratic Party is somewhere over here.
Yeah.
Right. but yeah, that's where I'll let you know when you can join.
Yeah. So send an email, and then you can get involved in events in the community. And if you want to get involved in our grassroots, this is the email. And the grassroots, what they do is they go out into the community and actually do events, host events, and meet with people one-on-one to kind of get our message out there. And for anyone else who's watching, just go to our website here. I'm doing a lot of pointing today. It's over here. No, I'm joking. And go to our website and sign up. We have a contact form there, and also a place where you can volunteer. And as always, because we are on the YouTubes, like and subscribe. And if you're on the not Substack, I always get this wrong. What's the other one that we're on? Spotify. Do whatever you do on Spotify to follow. I don't know what that is. But thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
This was really fun. Thanks.
Thank you.